Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will discuss specifically AMT exemption. In the prior session, we started with regular taxable income. We took care of the adjustments, including the standard deduction. We looked at 4 or 5 adjustments. Some are pluses, some are minuses to regular income. We looked at tax preferences. Then we computed alternative minimum taxable income before exemption. So we worked up to this point. In this session, we're going to look at the exemption. We're going to compute the taxes, and we're going to learn about the tax credit and look at the final number. Now, in the prior session, we worked with this example and we completed this form specific 6251 that is basically a reflection of this, not of this formula, it's a reflection of line 1 through 5 to AMT before exemption. In this session, we will focus on the exemptions. So the exemptions are part 2 of that form. So this was part 1, this is part 2. And the exemptions listed here are for the year 2025, because when I did this recording, all what I have to work with is the draft version of the 2025 AMT. Let's go ahead and dive into the exemption. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. You are here because you are serious about mastering taxation. Whether you are taking a tax course, studying for the CPA exam, or enrolled agent, tax feels overwhelming, not because it's impossible, but because it's dense, detailed, and often taught at a pace that doesn't match the way you learn. The rules can feel disconnected, and the logic isn't always explained clearly. At Farhat Lectures, we slow it down. We explain the why behind the rules, break concept into simple steps, and rebuild your understanding from the ground up without assuming any prior knowledge. When explanation matches your learning, everything changes. The confusion fades, the rules start to connect, and tax becomes manageable. If you are ready to understand tax with clarity and confidence, start your free trial at farhatlectures.com and let's build your tax foundation together. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Although I am using the I'm showing you the 2025 tax form. There's no 2026 tax form yet, but the 2026 exemptions are out. And to make your life harder, not really, to give you the most recent data, not to make your life harder, and to kind of help you understand the exemption from a grant perspective, I will be using exemptions figures from the year 2026. One more time. What I'm showing you here are the 2025, but I don't have the 2026 form to show you because it's not out yet. I will be using the 2026 exemption. But here's what I want to tell you. You could be watching this recording in the year 2028. Those numbers will change. It doesn't really matter. And the fact that I'm showing you 2026 and using 2025, this should tell you I'm not going to go back and redo a new recording because those numbers change. Because those numbers will change every year. But the rules will stay the same. Unless there is a specific rule that's changing, I am not going to redo the lecture. So this way you know how to deal with this. So for 2026, exemption subject to a phase out for single and head of a household, the exemption is $90,100. Now for the 2025, the exemption was $88,100. So the exemption went up. Don't worry about up or down, just the exemption is now $90,100, and the phase out start at $500,000. So once your AMT exceeds $500,000, your exemption will start to go down. By how much? We're going to see in a moment. For every dollar, 50 cents. Don't worry about that. We'll see it. Married filing jointly, $140,200. You see here 137. Now it's 142. I'm not going to keep going back and forth. And the phase out start at $1 million. Married filing separately, the exemption is $70,100, and the phase out will start at $500,000. Now, how does the phase out start? Well, here's what's going to happen. Every dollar above the phase out range, for every dollar above the phase out range, you would lose 50%, 50 cents for every dollar. So if your if your AMTI is 500 and $1,000, so you're 1,000 above. $1,000 above means you are going to lose $500 in your exemption. Therefore, your exemption is reduced by $500. So let's assume Homer and Marge have an AMTI of 1,100,000. So they're married, filing jointly, and they are 100,000 above the limit. 100,000 means what? It means there are 100,000 above the 1 million. It means they are going to lose 50% of that in the exemption. What's 50 cents of 100,000 for 50,000? Therefore, their exemption is reduced to $90,200. So we have to reduce their exemption by 50,000. So their exemption is $90,200. And this is the formula. 100,000 multiplied by 50 pennies, which is 100,000 times 50 pennies equal to 50,000. 140,000 minus 50,000 equal to 90,200. Now let's keep on going. Although we got to the point where I showed you the exemption with the phase out, this is going to give you the AMT base. The AMT base is the taxable. Think of this as the taxable income for AMT before the tax credit. Remember, we started with regular taxable income. Now we went back to AMT base, which is the taxable income for AMT. So let's keep going. Let's compute the taxes. So the AMTI for Marge and Homer is 1,100,000. The government will give them a deduction of 90,200. They lost 50,000 of that deduction. Therefore, the base is $1,009,800. Now they will have to pay the taxes. Remember, we have two rates, 28% and 26%. Apply the 26 and the 28. The first 244,500, they will pay 26% tax on that, and this will amount to 63,570. The remainder amount, which is 765,300, which is $1,009,800 minus the 244,500, that's subject to the 26%. What's left is 765,300. This amount is subject to 28%, and the tax for that is 214,986. Therefore, we compute that the tentative minimum tax for alternative minimum tax together is 278,556, assuming no credit. Therefore, the AMT tax before any credit, there's no credit, we're going to assume they have no credit, is 278,556. And what I just did is I just showed you what will be the AMT. Assuming no credit, what you do is you compare this number to the regular tax. And if this number is higher than the regular tax, let's assume the regular tax is 270,000 when they computed the regular tax. Then they have to pay an additional 8,556. Let's assume the regular tax is 280,000. All what we did is you can throw it in the garbage. They will pay 280,000. Okay, so but the way it works, it's basically, let's assume it's 270,000. We will say that you have an additional $8,556 in AMT tax, and you'll have to take that to Schedule 2. I'm not going to show you the form because everything is done automatically. No one does this manually. Nevertheless, let me just show you, even it tells you on the form, take this number to Schedule 2, and from Schedule 2 it eventually goes to your 1040. So notice here, not here, I'm looking for the tax right here. It goes to it goes on Schedule 2 line 2. You could look up Schedule 2 line 2. Then from there it goes to your 1040 with your taxes, and that's part of your taxes. That additional 8,556, assuming your regular taxes were 270,000. Now, we talked about credits. We assume no credit, but what credit are allowed for AMT? You just need to know them. Child and tax credit, additional child tax credit. Now, they're all subject to a various limitation. I'm not going to go over this because it will just, this is part of the tax credit. The education credit, adoption credit, savers credit, residential energy efficiency credit, foreign tax credit, and other general business credit passed through Form K-1. Now again, some of them, they qualify, that's allowed, but because of the limit, they don't qualify. It doesn't matter. If there's any credit, the system would compute it and it would reduce your AMT tax. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. After the AMT exemption is applied, the remaining amount is called what? So after the exemption is taken out, is deducted from the AMTI. I just told you AMTI comes first. So AMTI minus the exemption. What do we call this number? Well, AMTI, then we deduct the exemption. What do we call this number? Is it the tentative minimum tax? No, that's the actual tax. The regular tax? No, it's not. We call it AMT base. And think of the AMT base as the taxable income for AMT. Remember this formula that I started with when I started this lesson. Regular taxable income, we start with that, plus the standard deduction, plus or minus adjustments, plus preferences, come up to AMTI. Then we take the exemption, and after we take the exemption, this is what they're asking. So the question is asking for this one, and this number is called the AMT base. Then from the AMT base, as we saw in this recording, you pay your taxes, you get the tentative AMT, then you take out any credit, then whatever is left, you compare it to the regular tax, you pay the higher, and that's that. If you are taking this lesson, if you're taking this MCQ on Farhat Lectures, you could use the AI to explain the topic, explain correct and incorrect answer, create a similar MCQ for you. Whether you are an accounting student, CPA exam candidate, enrolled agent, don't shortchange yourself. Go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional resources, lectures, multiple choice, exercises, simulation, video simulations, video MCQ. The best investment you can make is invest in yourself, and God bless.